I'd like to thank the Grace of Heaven, Virtues of Masters, Grand Predecessor, Transmitters, and all of you for giving me the opportunity to share this topic today. So for this class, we're going to talk about a scripture I found that's like the Holy Teacher's merciful words for us. So the topic, I think they shorthanded, it was called Holy Teacher Shoulders or Blocks Our Karmic Burden for 3 years. So, since we have some new people, as we, there's like the cycle of reincarnation. So every time we are born into this world, we have past lives, karma that we build up. So we have some good karma and we have bad karma. So we have good karma and bad karma that we accumulate over lifetimes, right? So for the bad karma, we have creditors who want to kind of collect from us. So it's our job to do as many good things as we can to help people and kind of reduce our bad karma and create more good karma, create more good things in the world. So, any questions before we start?
Holy Teacher, the statue on the right hand side, the people just standing today. We have statue in the front. The Holy Teacher, Jigong Living Buddha. It's the statue on the right hand side in the front. Okay.
So he's the one with the fan. He used to be a monk in a past life, and now he's the teacher in this era that's responsible for teaching us and helping us return back to heaven. Okay, so I guess we can begin. I tried to translate it from Chinese, so if there's any mistakes, we can have the lecturers and transmitters kind of fix it. Lecturer Jean, will you read the first paragraph?
Holy Teacher tells you, Holy Teacher is very realistic. Holy Teacher shoulders all of your karmic burdens for 3 years. If you do not do it, then Holy Teacher will let go. Put down the karmic burden for your creditors to come collect. Your fate is in your own hands. Different people, different views. Understand?
So this is saying, as I was saying, over lifetimes we build up some karma. Some of them, oftentimes it's not very good karma. For example, if we do bad things or if we eat meat, then those people, those souls, want to collect from us, and they want us to pay back. So lucky for us, Holy Teacher kind of shared with us that when we receive Tao and we come to temple, he is able to block some of our, bad karma and our creditors from collecting from us. So, sometimes we get sick or we might have accidents or face some obstacles or tragedies in our life. Sometimes that is because of our bad karma they're collecting from us. So we're lucky because Holy Teacher said that he blocks it for us for 3 years in the beginning. So if we don't continue on this path of cultivation in temple and keep coming to temple, then he's not able to shoulder the burden for us anymore. And then I think it was really interesting because when I read it, I was thinking, wow, like Holy Teacher is blocking for me, like little old me. And, for me, some people think like when you hear that, you're very touched, right? Because you think, wow, there's a Buddha that's looking out for me. Whereas some people think, meh, nothing's happened to me, nothing bad has happened, so I'll be okay, I don't need this. But then, it really depends on our heart, the way we see it. When we hear Holy Teacher and the Buddhas are protecting us, it's up to us to have that sincere heart, to keep cultivating, to keep coming to temple and keep learning. Does anybody want to add anything?
Yeah, sometimes we think we're not being blessed or anything, like nothing good happened to us. But think of what we might have done in our past life. There's the karma, right? And if we do not cultivate, then things might be worse. But it just doesn't happen because we are in the Tao, we're cultivating.
Right. There are some lecturers who thought that they don't need to cultivate anymore. They already know everything they need to know in temple. And so they stop coming, or they encourage other people to stop coming. And those ancestors, the 9 ancestors above, and then the descendants below, 7 ancestors above us, and then 9 descendants below us, they're going to come and look for those people who try to block that person who's trying to cultivate the Tao, right? So it's up to us. We got to make sure we stay on the path of cultivation.
Those karmas are from many lives before this lifetime. We only see this lifetime, right? We didn't do bad things. Those karma come from all the lives we have been reincarnated. Almost over 60,000 years. Okay, last week we have this Mother's funeral service. There's one member next to me. She told me, the lady told me, she always feels some spirits following her all the time. With her all the time. No matter she goes, where she goes, she can feel somebody's behind her. So, but after she doing so many good things, seems they have become fewer and fewer every time, less and less every time. But before she said she feel everybody, every day she goes out, somebody's following her. So it's pretty scary for her every day.
Anybody else want to add anything? Any comments?
I mean, I think, well, maybe children, I mean, 3 years, I don't know if it's like a set number, fixed number, but I mean, like, it probably, children probably get, more protection probably because they don't, they can't
Still
do anything
learning.
yet, they're still learning. So, but as adults, we probably, the more sincere we are, right? It's really, you can say the more sincere we are, the more you can say they might want to protect. I mean, because we're sincere about learning, cultivating, right? Then obviously the Buddhas want to see us succeed, and so they'll try to do what they can to help us. So that's why we make vows. Vows are very important because that shows our sincerity, and obviously we have to fulfill them. If we don't fulfill them, then it's an empty promise, right? So yeah, those things help us. So beyond the 3 years, that's why we're encouraged to do that. Yeah.
That's a very good point. Once we continue, after 3 years, if we don't cultivate, they will let go all the critical, something like that. But if we continue to cultivate, saints, Buddha, teachers, they are helping us. Even we facing the disasters, tragedies, which we don't want to see it, but they will find a way to cut down the damage to the minimum. They will find a way to do it. It happened to so many members in the temple here, worldwide temples. So they will help us. No matter what happened to us. I think happened to some of the members here, they have so much experience. They will find a way to help us. So once we continue to do that, they can help us. If we don't do that, we don't know. Yeah, we never know.
I also just wanted to say something. I think that it's so important to cultivate it every day because it's very easy to learn what it is. Like from Facebook, for instance, you pick up a book and say, okay, I'm going to learn all about what the Tao is, and then you can know it, but it's a whole other thing to really live it. And that's where, even for me, it's been a journey of like working on it every day, slowly. But it's like you said. You can actually feel once you start cultivating it in your life, you can feel it, like a release of tension.
100%, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with receiving the Tao. It's like planting a seed. So you don't see the results right away, right? I mean, you got to nurture, nourish it, right? So through cultivation, through sincerity, all that. So, and obviously it can be different, whether we see any kind of results depends on us, and also, our individual karmas, all those are factors. So, but the more we put into it, of course, the more we'll get out of it. Yeah.
I definitely agree. And I also think that, this is the 3 years is kind of just a hint for us or a reminder that in the beginning, we receive the Tao and we say it's a blessing. So it's good because we have a lot of Buddhas that are next to us after that. But then it's our job, it's our goal and our mission that we continue on this path. After these 3 years are up, it's saying don't just 3 years live very happy and then just stop coming to temple. It's after these 3 years, keep doing what you're doing and then always try to get to the next level. Always strive for the next one.
We have one lecture in Taiwan. And he used to be in a temple for 10 plus 15 years, 10, 15, 20 years. He had been cultivated. So one day he was transferred to different side of the temple in southern Taiwan. He said, he didn't get along with the people in the temple, in the other temple. He said, okay, he can study at home. He doesn't need anybody teaching. He can study now at home. Months later, he got a big accident. Something happened. Just happened to him. And then big accident. And the holy teacher said, holy teacher told him to tell you what happened to him in previous life. So he did kill some 3 people in previous life. He didn't know that. He was those people, those spirits, wait for you for 308 years. Just wait for this moment. When you don't come, they catch you. So the long story there happened to him. He did something. We didn't know what we had done. We didn't know what we had done in previous life. We didn't know, don't know. But create, come to the temple, learn something, we can apply to our daily life. That's more important. Apply to our daily life. Use the principle of philosophy we learn and apply to our daily life. Life will be totally different. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so let's go to the next paragraph. This elaborates on what he said in the introduction. Ty, you want to read? Maybe we can go back and forth.
All right, Holy Teacher really worries about you all. Right now, there are so many disasters, and you're not cultivating seriously. Holy Teacher sees this and feels a heartache. Holy Teacher is very scared. Very scared disciples will encounter tragedies and disasters. Today, Holy Teacher's clothes are being pulled and ripped by your creditors. Holy Teacher constantly says, my disciples will come. My disciples will accumulate merits and fulfill vows. Hopefully, the creditors will give you an opportunity to do so. Holy Teacher hopes disciples will certainly do it. In this last time period, you must fulfill your own vows. Right? Eliminate your own debts and karma, bad karma. Must be clean and white, free of debt and bad karma, and then debt-free and light, so you can return home to permanent heaven to see God. Then Holy Teacher will have peace of mind. Holy Teacher hopes in the future you have no issues. When you go out, you must be aware of your safety, driving, walking, even if you're at home. When you walk up the stairs, you have to look, or if you're walking on the street, you must look. Do not rush, do you know? That way you can avoid disasters. Your safety is Holy Teacher's safety. You are not safe, then Holy Teacher's heart is not at peace. Understand?
So I think this part was very touching when I was translating it, because I didn't realize, Holy Teacher is like always so happy, right? He always like kind of silly and happy, and then you realize that deep down that's just for show. Deep down his heart aches for each of his disciples, all of us, and all of the humans in the world who don't even know that that's their teacher, right? So I think it was really interesting because he said that all the creditors are pulling on his clothes and ripping it. So like those creditors are waiting to get at us, to collect their bad karma from us. But Holy Teacher is doing everything that he can to block it for us. So it's up to us to kind of relieve Holy Teacher's heartache and do the best we can to be a good disciple. You want to add anything, anybody?
And it's one thing he said here, no matter what we do, don't rush. Human beings, we are intended to rush, right? Hurry, rush. But the moment, easy to make a mistake. Something happens in the moment. So we need to be very pure, positive heart. Don't rush. Take our time and then do things we need to do. So that's very critical. Don't rush all the things.
I think also because we're in New York and the East Coast, it's very like second nature to be very rushed and efficient, get to where you need to go, So it takes a lot of, in Chinese they say gong fu, like an ability to really teach yourself to be slower and calm down. I've been working on this. I used to talk really, really fast. Yeah, so there was a Dharma class in Ohio. I mean, I still talk really fast, but I'm trying to slow down. And when I was in Ohio, I was trying to put the microphone on her outfit, but then it kind of got tangled. Yeah, Guanyin Bodhisattva, Lady Buddha. And I got really nervous. My hands started to shake because, it's a Buddha. And I tried to put it on, and I was really rushing and trying to put it on correctly. And then she told me, you have to calm down and, do everything slower, be calmer. So she's like, even though she's talking about my hands, what she really means is everything I do in life, every day in our daily lives. We have to practice, slow down, calm our hearts, and do everything the way a Buddha would, very calmly and very, don't get nervous, don't be anxious.
Mindfulness.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we were here. We were in Texas last month and 2 weeks ago. We just got back from Texas, and you can see so many cars in Texas. Houston is more crowded than we have here. Houston, and then Texas, and there's one traffic intersection. Dallas. There's no traffic lights. It's broken. There's so many cars coming, but you can see one car coming first, the other car keep coming, one after the other one. No traffic light. We don't have to worry about accident. One after the one, in order, take their time. Then the other people go, and then this go, the other car go, the other go. And it was that intersection was wow. Can I imagine there's no traffic light here in New York City, right? And you have 4 or 5, so many cars coming, but one after the other one. They let the other people go, follow their order. So it's a beautiful, interesting intersection. You will see the light sometimes we really rush. We really in a hurry to do all the things. We need to calm down, slow down a little bit.
As soon as we came back from Texas, the way we went home, we got the same thing. The light was out here, near Chinatown. We stuck there for half an hour. Right? I was sleeping when I woke up. We're still here. And all the cars just rush. They want to go home. Everybody's got stuck.
I think it's interesting because we can actually take Holy Teacher's words, even though on the surface there's one meaning, but then we can actually apply it to our daily lives all the time. And then we see the beauty of the Tao in everything we do, just like Transmitter Lin said. When he went to Texas, you wouldn't think you would find Tao in like an intersection, but he applies the principles to everything we see in life. Thank you. And I also really appreciated how Holy Teacher even worries about like the little things about the safety, like just walking across the street or, taking the stairs, I think he said. It's like just these little things to us is very mundane, but the Holy Teacher is still probably holding his breath every time we cross the street or anything we do, right? So we're really lucky that we have a Buddha that's looking out for us. Okay, so next paragraph. Sister, you want to...
You all look around at the people in the world. As soon as you feel itchy, you scratch, right? And not only just scratch once. A little while later, your heart and mind feels itchy and you scratch again. Look at when you scratch, what does it become? Do you know? You put whatever medicine on it, it becomes what kind of inflammation? Cellular inflammation, correct? Because people's hearts are not like ancient times, so bad atmosphere is everywhere. So in the air, including in your hands, there's a lot of bacteria, including what you eat. It makes you want to scratch. It is fatal because as you scratch, you lose your hand. So it's different from ancient times. It's not saying I can take herbs and rub it on and it's all better. No. Now, if you use herbs to rub, later you'll be sent to the hospital. Did you know? Holy Teacher is telling you, if your hand is itching, you should go help living beings.
I like that last line. It's very cute. But I think his main point is that our heart should try to be as pure and similar to like the old times where everyone was really good. You didn't have to lock your doors at night. Everyone was just pure of heart. So the more we are like that, the more virtues we accumulate, the more positive energy that's around us. The Buddhas will be around us. And then the Buddhas and spirits will be able to help us more because we're good people. But when we do, have a more negative heart or evil heart, they say, it's like we absorb the negative energy around us. And then the more negative energy around us, the less the Buddhas can get close to us. And so when we have that negative energy, we're more susceptible to health problems or difficulties in life. So we should always try to maintain a positive heart and a positive and pure energy and heart. So I think, they try to change
That
the...
sentence is very good.
Yeah.
When hands are itching, go out to propagate the Tao, bring people to receive the Tao, healthy living beings.
Yeah, Holy Teacher said the more you sit stationary, and the more health problems you'll accumulate. So if you don't feel well or you feel sick, you have to go out and do more and then help people more, and it'll really help ourselves too.
I remember Holy Teacher one time talked to our lecturer, Jean. She is always in the temple to help all the time. Sometimes she came more than twice a week, Wednesday or other days, clean up the temple. And then I know sometimes she didn't feel well. Holy Teacher, what did Holy Teacher tell you?
You got to do more.
She already did a lot. But Holy Teacher, you got to do more. The more we do, what happens? The more Holy Teacher can use our merit to negotiate with all the creditors for us. As long as we have more merit, Holy Teacher use our merit to negotiate for us with the creditors.
And the reason why he told me in particular to do more, it is because as you all know, I'm sick. So with my illness, I have to do more than other people in order to offset my bad karma.
And Holy Teacher says that the fate of our future is in our own hands. So, if we wish to have a healthy, long life, it's up to us. We can cultivate more and then our lives can be extended, just like Elder Transmitter Jin. He's 90 something now? 94. And then he had a fortune teller that said his his life would be shorter before. But look at him now; he's still very healthy and still able to teach us, and we're really lucky because he does everything himself. He doesn't wait for us to go do it for him, and so you can tell the more we do, the more we're able to change our destinies. And a lot of stories like that here. My mother, lecturer Xu, her back was she was in a bad accident and she was almost paralyzed. But then see, she keep coming. She didn't give up. And the more she keep coming, she looks like completely healthy now. So you'll see a lot of miraculous stories when you're here. Anybody else want to share? Okay, we can keep going. Connie?
Yeah. Those who receive Tao and pass away but do not remember the three treasures, did you know you take vows and burn big incense at temple? No. Not yet, because did not know.
Not know until.
But did
Not know
Yeah,
until
because
the next
the
day.
parentheses is the people in the class talking back to, or responding to holy teacher's question. Yeah.
Okay, so you can still do it the next day. Holy teacher tells you when your predecessor passed away, you all burn the big incense. Let's say no ordinary person without merit, without virtues, do you not need to burn incense then? Look at how negligent you all are. You have Tao members, family members who pass away, but rush to go see them. Nobody first comes to temple to beg God, pray to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to come guide them back. You only do an external appearance for others to see. No? Understand? You must follow the steps. This point, everyone needs to do it. To learn, if you do not know, you must tell your transmitter. Ask your damage.
Transmitter.
Ask your transmitter. Transmitters represent holy teacher, a person who forgot the three treasures. As long as the person did not damage the Tao and virtue, as long as the person has offspring, then the body will be soft and flexible, but may not necessarily have the heavenly position, title, in permanent heaven. Did you know? So you must really do it. If you do not do it, you can only stand there. You can only stand there. How many years do you stand? 129, 600 years since the beginning of time. Time to reborn, then you come down. Then you may not even be a human, maybe as an animal. Did you know? You must stand 129, 6,000 years.
Thank you. So this is a little bit long, but inside there's a lot of good points in here. So he said that when people pass away, actually let's take a step back. Why they asked about the three treasures? Because a lot of people, we have some new people, but when we receive the Tao, you receive something called the three treasures. These three treasures are almost like a way for you to return back to heaven. But a lot of people who do not cultivate the Tao, they may often forget these three treasures when you receive it in the beginning. So, if you do not remember the three treasures, you may be waiting outside of Heaven's Gate for a very long time. So, does anybody want to talk about the three treasures really quickly? Just why it's important?
原来还没求到。
I know, yeah. So, just why it's important. Three treasures, like the benefits of the three treasures, yeah.
Don't need to go detail, but why it's important.
The benefits of receiving this blessing. Yeah, you can go back to heaven. It's like a shortcut. Another one is that it helps us avoid disasters. When the disasters come, these three treasures will help us. The Buddhas will help us.
It also awakens our true self, and so we know what to do, and we try not to do anything that will create us any more bad karma, to have no attachment, and this way we'll be totally free, and so we can rise up.
Yeah, that's a good one. Also, our ancestors and our offsprings can all benefit from us receiving these three treasures.
17 generations.
Yeah.
Above
So,
us, 9 below us. So it's for the 17 generations.
so Lecturer Shi, you want to add something?
I just want to share the information in the South Gate. that's right now is the only day open that's in order for us to go back to the permanent heaven. That's 4 of them, and the middle one. The rest of them already closed, so only the south one left. So right now in front of the south gate, that's the borderline of the permanent heaven and the temporary heaven. Right? So in the temporary heaven, the outside of the south gate, tons of people there. How do you call?
Spirits.
You don't call people, right? There was people. Why they cannot enter the permanent heaven? Because they forgot about the true treasures. After they received out, they never come back to heaven. They're so busy. They did not think God is so important. But once we open the gate, we are connected to the permanent heaven. So it's up to us if we want to cultivate or not. Nobody will force us. So unfortunately, a lot of people will receive out, but they did not know it's so precious. So they did not come back and learn more in order to know how important the Tao is. And then they forgot about the three treasures, and they kneel down there for many years, 20 years, 100 years. What they are waiting for, their offspring, if they can receive out and cultivate in the temple, so then they are so kind they can help them. Otherwise, they will, kneel down there for a long time. So some of them got so mad that they smashed the floor, say, how come I introduce my guarantee? Did not tell me it's so important. And they are so angry. So this is our responsibility. Whoever we introduce them and bring them to temple, we have the responsibility not to tell them to come back. Otherwise they will smash the floor. Hey, Judy did not tell me it's so important, Otherwise I will don't need to be down there. So it's applied to us too. If we don't cultivate well, and we might get blocked to go back to permanent heaven. We might be one of them. So it's very important, that on the earth something is so important we come and go. That's really important.
Thank you. Yeah, just so for the newer members or those who may not remember, we're all on earth here, but then when we receive the 3 treasures, the blessing, we're able to take a shortcut and go straight to permanent heaven. That's where God, all the Buddhas are, And then temporary heaven is for those who do a lot of good things while they're humans, but may not have received the blessing. So temporary means, it's not permanent. Eventually they will have to come back down to this earth where there's a lot of suffering, right? So if we can come back to permanent heaven with God and Buddhas, then we don't have to suffer anymore, and we can have, be with our family and be very happy. Obviously we don't want to go to hell where we get punished for the bad things we do. So we got to do a lot of good things, and then so we can take the shortcut right back to heaven.
When people say, okay, now we got a motive to go back to permanent heaven. We have a motive. But the other choice, human being coming down to this lifetime, or maybe animal coming down, because they have karma. A lot of karma. They do have karma and merits. Human being may be half, so we have to come down to pay back. But once go back to permanent heaven, those Buddhas, they can reborn. They can choose where they want to go. They have options. It's different. A lot of Buddhas, like some of you, they are Buddha reborn. You came down, decided, okay, I'm going to came down to help certain areas, certain living beings. You could do that. Like I think our gene transmitter, senior gene transmitter sisters, she chose to go to China to reborn. So we knew that, we saw the scripture that when we brought them back, she went back to reborn already. So they can choose. They can choose where they want to go. Sometimes we don't have a choice. Some people, Africa, a lot of people have money, but a lot of people suffer. Because put us in any locations, depending on our karma. So depending on our affinities. So at least we have a choice. If we go back as the Buddha saints, we have a choice where we want to go and reborn or do other things. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So back to this paragraph. the class member asked Holy Teacher about somebody who received the Tao, passed away, but may not remember the 3 treasures, right? So that person maybe did not cultivate all the time or did not always come to temple. So Holy Teacher's answer was, did you burn the big incense? In Chinese, we call it Da Ba Shang, where you put all the incense together, like a bundle. And then he said, let me just put it this way. When your predecessor, who's very already a Buddha, when he passed away, we know he has a lot of virtue and is going to go to heaven. But did we still burn the big incense for him?
Yes.
Of course we did. So for somebody who is not even that same level of virtues, should we also do it for them? Even more, right? Because we really want to help them to not suffer. So we have to do everything we can when they pass away. So that was the answer, which I thought was very interesting. And then he said, look at how negligent we are, because to us, the funeral is what's most important on earth. But then they don't realize that the funeral is just kind of an appearance thing, whereas behind the scenes, we should also pray to God that our loved one is not suffering anymore, pray that the Buddhas come and receive them and take them back home to permanent heaven, right? So we must not forget that even though we have to do all the funerals and all these things that we need to prepare for, we should also pray for them, okay? And actually it's interesting because in Chinese culture, a lot of times when we have funerals, Chinese people like to burn these yellow papers, and they think it's like money for heaven, so that when you pass away, the more we burn, the more in heaven they have currency to use to buy things. Yeah.
And a house. And a butler.
They have a boat, those little gold dumplings. So they say the more we burn, the more they're going to get in heaven. But is that true? No. It's the only things we can take with us is our virtues, yeah. So we hope that they do, but the way we can hope and help them is by doing vows, or by praying, and then doing more good things on earth so that they can take some of our good credit. Any questions? That part? And then so the last part of this paragraph was saying, even though we may cultivate or we may have received Tao, does that necessarily mean we have a high position while we're in heaven? Maybe not. It depends on the individual, how much they cultivated, how sincere their heart is. So yeah, even though you pass away, the 3 treasures, you can get into heaven. But that doesn't mean you have a lotus flower for you to sit on and that you have a position there. You may have only a space where you can stand. But then that space you're standing only lasts 129,600 years. To us that sounds like a long time, but in heaven that's very short. Yeah.
You know what Holy Teacher said? Teacher said, everybody sit there. We are the people stand there. At the end, we feel so
shameful.
So we ask them to say we want to go down again. So automatically we will ask to go down again. So if you really want to do it, make sure we do it. We don't want to do halfway there. By the time we got there, we only can stand there. We have no virtues to sit there. So they have a different position for people when they get there, depending on who they are. And Holy Teacher did bring one lecture. She went back to heaven. She got a car accident, bad accident. So Holy Teacher brought her back to see the heaven. And Holy Teacher told her one thing. I'm sorry, we don't even have space for you to stand here. Why? Anybody know why? Because we don't have virtues. We don't have merits. A teacher brought her back and said, I'm sorry, I don't even have place for you to stand here. So she feel bad. So she came down and said she wants to make sure she does that. She wants to make sure she goes to the temple, cultivate correct enough merits. Because this is very important. Try to come to temple. We learn a little bit each day, each week, and we can apply to our daily life. Our life will be totally different. We feel much worry-free, much carefree deep inside. And you can feel we all can feel different. And I'm going to talk about one story happened last week. We have a funeral service for your grandma, right? Yeah. So what happened to her grandma? Here is a grandma, right? What happened in the beginning? What happened after she passed away? What happened to her body? Body was very stiff, rigid. Okay? You know what happened? People die. We say when they receive out, what's supposed to be very soft. They still have other things. They couldn't let go. They worry about their grandchildren. They worry about their children. Worry about so many things. But at the end, we have to tell them they let go all those stuff. So our gene transmitter helps her to hold 3 treasures, together. Then at the moment, body very soft at the end. So something happened because in the beginning sometimes we couldn't let go. Because we feel bad they are leaving. They even feel worse than we do. They couldn't let go more than we are, more than all of us. So at the end last week we can see the body start to get soft. I just ask people to take a look. You can see the body very soft. But in the beginning was not. And the other thing, Holy Teacher talked to us, to the masters, a year ago. A lot of time because body after we put in the freezers for so many hours, many days, body become rigid. So master need to go there to move their hands and leg a little bit. They will come very softer later on, will be more flexible later on. In the beginning, might be a little bit rigid, inflexible, but after master touch their body, move them to be flexible. So the Holy Teacher will remind us, master must make sure we do that. So, and then the other thing, when anybody, we don't want to see anybody suffer or pass away. But once somebody pass away, we burn the big incense immediately. 81 of them immediately.
108.
108 total immediately. Heaven will receive immediately. One time we have a 3 temple burn 108, all of them. And because once they burn this 108 incense, they receive the message immediately. Big message there. And teacher said, you guys burn 3 times, 3 temples, 3 locations. You don't need to do that. Do once. Don't make it, all the saints Buddha are moving just because you guys do 3 times. Because we do it in different temples, 3 locations. But in heaven, they got 3 times. They said you only need to do once. Okay, human beings, we are nervous, so everybody start to do that. But teacher said, you don't need to do 3 times. Yeah. So it's only once. Usually we have a headquarters here, our senior Master Jean. He always do that for all of us. So that's important. Make sure we does that.
It made me think of like you accidentally hit the email send 3 times. Like, oh, it must be very serious. So, okay, so I think that's one of the benefits of receiving Tao is that when we pass away, as Transmitter Lynn was saying, was that our bodies will be soft because we're not scared. We shouldn't be scared because Buddhas will come and receive us, bring us back directly to permanent heaven. Those bodies who are very stiff and they look kind of frightened is usually, they're scared because they don't know where they're going to go next. But when, as Confucius says, if I receive Tao in the morning, then I can pass away at night and know exactly where I'm going to go. Right? So we don't need to worry. Anyone else? Okay, so let's do the next one. Eileen?
Holy Teacher wants those who do not eat vegetarian to learn to eat vegetarian. And slowly, Holy Teacher tells you in this year, there will be a lot of bacteria. If you do not have a good immune system, you may die in the next big disaster. These disasters are not complete yet. They just started. So you must all take care of yourselves. Hurry and bring people to receive Tao, but you must explain clearly. You must encourage to eat vegetarian. The receiving Tao merit fee, they must pay themselves. We must have a very sincere heart. Do you know?
So this paragraph sounds a little bit more serious, but it's really just saying that, we have to take care of our bodies. And the way we do that is by accumulating more merits. We do a lot of good things, and then our health will also come along with it. And so, Lady Bodhisattva has that thing that's in her hand, and then she opened it to let all is it Lady Bodhisattva or Mila Pho?
What?
The bag of evils.
It's Mila Pho.
Happy Buddha opened the bag, and all these evils came out into this world. That's why there's so many disasters now, right? And then Holy Teacher's warning us is that they're not done yet. There's going to be more. So as we can see that there's like the atmosphere is changing, and then people's hearts are changing. So we have to do everything we can to make sure that our heart is pure and help all the people that we care about and everyone in the world to come and receive this blessing, right? So so what we can do, one of the ways that we can help people is just eat more vegetarian food, eat less meat, cut back a little bit, because the more meat we eat, the more bad karma we may accumulate, right? Because if we were an animal, would we want to be eaten? No, I wouldn't want to be eaten. You know, we all have parents. Animals have parents too. They have kids. We have kids too. So we wouldn't want that for our families. So we should try our best to cut back as much as we can and accumulate more good merits. Now, the next part was the receiving Tao merit fee. It's $10, and then at least $10. This kind of was mandated by General Guan, the Buddha that is like a soldier. Yeah. General Guan, right? And then he said that why he mandated this was to kind of see our sincerity. If you're not willing to pay just the $10 minimum, then are you going to be sincere in cultivating the Tao, right? So a lot of people, they're willing to spend this money to buy name brand things and buy lots of things like clothes and look good, but they're not willing to spend the $10 to receive this really miraculous blessing. Right? So it's really important that we understand this $10 is not being used to do whatever with. These $10 is a donation to help people and print, scriptures and books for everyone to learn more. So this $10 is actually doing more for our virtues and helping us accumulate more merits and not just externally, right? So if we're congratulations to everyone who did receive Tao, it means you're willing to part with the $10 and get to the next level too. So I encourage everyone who hasn't received Tao to definitely to do it today.
The $10 for us to open an account in the heaven there too. Open an account there.
So just like we have a bank account in the bank, every time we put money in, it grows. But when we put money into our lotus flower bank account in heaven, then we have like a virtue. Your virtues keep growing. Your good merits keep growing. We want a big account there, and a small, an account here. When we pass away, we can't take it with us, right? So.
Every one of us have one lotus flower in the heaven with our name on the lotus flower. The more we do on the merit, the lotus flower is booming. If we don't do nothing, what happens?
We're going to wilt.
We die. I think when Lady Buddha did with one lady from Thailand back to the heaven, and then Lady Buddha brought her to see all the lotus flower there. And she wanted to pick up one big one. She want that one. Lady Buddha told her, that's not yours. Yours is all the way to the back. So she went all the way back to see her own lotus flower. She said she didn't like that one. She didn't want that one. What happened?
It's very dark, small.
Yeah. She said she didn't want that one. She wanted the other one. Lady Buddha told her, everybody has their own. You need to use their merit to nourish your own lotus flower. Yeah. Everybody has one in the heaven here, in there. Everybody. So it depends on. Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? Okay, so we can do the next paragraph. Kai, would you read that one?
The future road is hard to go down, bumpy with difficulties. There are no more paths to take, so Holy Teacher often says, Buddha will be blah 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 blah. Also often say, when disasters or calamities come, nobody will be able to take care of the corpses. Some corpses will not be found. You've all seen it. Those that cannot be found, people do not need to bury the corpses. The disasters will bury them, bury for them. It's scary, very scary. So those who cultivate and propagate Tao must do well. Do you know? Do not let your Tao knowledge retreat or regress. Take a step backwards, right? You look, because of one word, you stop and then you move or go. We cannot do this, or we can.
So yeah, what this is saying is like we shouldn't let anything deter us. Sometimes we think, or like sometimes you come to temple, you get yelled at or something, and you don't want to come anymore. Or you see something that is like you don't like it, or you see some drama, or maybe you have a conflict with somebody, and that makes you not want to come. But is that the right way to handle the situation? No, right? Because we want to keep going, and then these are just tests and obstacles in our path of cultivation. We're always going to face this. And then actually, the more you cultivate, the more harder, the harder it may become for us because like the Buddhas are testing us to see what level we've already cultivated to. So actually, we should be really proud when we can face these hardships because it means that you have, you're qualified to take this test, even though it's very difficult.
Buddha said, we are qualified to be tested. That's why they give us a test. And even Guan Lo Yin said, without test, everybody becomes Buddha in heaven. bring all of us. This human world today, if you bring everybody to heaven, what happens to the heaven? It will be like earth. It will not be like heaven. So there will be a test for all of us to see which level we are. Are we qualified to go back or not? So Buddha said, we are lucky to be able to be tested. Not everybody is qualified to be tested. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, those who are qualified to be tested, what makes it is really those who receive the three treasures. Okay, not the ordinary folks. I mean, they'll have their own test, but that's different type of test. That's based on their karma, okay, or affinities or whatever, or you know. So when we say we are qualified to be tested, is we are qualified to be tested. It should be qualified. It should be more specific. We are qualified to be tested as cultivators. That's important. Okay? It's important to know. So what are the tests? It's the test of our cultivation. Very simple. Very simple, right? Buddha was tested too, right? You know, before he became, what we call enlightenment. I mean, even then, but that's okay. But, all right. So it's very important to know that as cultivators, we'll be tested, right? Like what Holy Teacher said, the road will be bumpy. Absolutely true. Absolutely. So we should not be afraid of that, okay? Because the ultimate reward is beyond, it's to transcend samsara, right? You're going to be a Buddha. You can become a Buddha, okay? That's the ultimate reward, all right? So we as cultivators have to ask ourselves, is this something that's worthwhile? Ask yourself if it's worthwhile. I mean, some people say, life is so tough. Why? Well, okay, all right. So it's not really worthwhile. Then you're going to have to wait till the next cycle, and you're going to go through the same thing. All right. So so it's either you delay it. Yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, you delay it for what they say 129. It could be longer. It could be many kalpas. Buddha talked about kalpas. I mean, you guys have no idea what kalpa is. I mean, kalpa is probably longer than the Big Bang, okay, or whatever. Who knows? So if you're willing to wait that and go through, I don't know how many cycles, go right ahead. That's your choice. So the key is, I think another way to summarize what Holy Teacher is trying to say is, we in just one lifetime we have the affinity. To receive the three treasures, to receive the Tao. So in this one lifetime, we practice, we cultivate, we live the Tao, right? Live what we learn, right? Practice what we learn. Just like we eat every day, we sleep every day, right? So we should live and learn and practice every day. And in this one lifetime, we can succeed. We can succeed to become Buddhas. That's worthwhile.
No matter how many karmas we have in previous life, as long as we cultivate this lifetime, we were able to resolve all those big karma to go back. And when we come to the temple, sometimes one thing could discourage us. Sometimes one thing could upset us. Somebody says something, we get upset. They say, we don't want to go back. We don't want to go back here. We don't want to go back to the temple. Don't let those one sentence, what people say, discourage us from coming. Because those are the tests from heaven to see if we are our sincerity. Make sure we don't, no matter how busy we are, if we cannot come here every week, we say, okay, I can come the week after. If I cannot come the week after, I come next month. Make sure we keep coming. Okay? We may not be able to come every month, we come every 2 months. Whoever based on our abilities. Don't stop coming. Because this only opportunity, the best opportunity, we have a shortcut to go back. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So what we left off was the last paragraph. We said that we shouldn't let anything deter us from this path of cultivation. And, even if we get yelled at or if we've heard, a lot of people think, I've heard all these classes before, or everything in the temple, everything starts to sound the same after I've been here a while. But is there always something that we can learn? Yeah, everything we do in life, we shouldn't always think we already know everything there is to know. There's always room for improvement and new things for us to learn. So I have an example. There was a story of a lecturer. I guess at a temple he wasn't very happy, or he saw that there were some conflicts, and so he thought that he could just cultivate on his own at home. And he encouraged other people to also just cultivate on their own at home. But then what happens is every time you come to temple, all your ancestors are able to listen to the class as well. So when we pay attention in class and come to Dharma class, we actually learn a lot, and then our ancestors can learn a lot too. So then those ancestors of the people he encouraged not to come to temple, those people were looking for his ancestors to pay back, right? Because now, because of what you said, I don't get to listen to class anymore. So that's kind of what happened. So when he passed away, he received the 3 treasures. He should go to permanent heaven, correct? But when he was there, Holy Teacher said, you saw, like on earth, a lot of things you saw you weren't happy with, or you weren't happy at temple. So what makes you think you'll be happy here in heaven? You won't be, because everything to your eye is like, in Chinese they say is like, you didn't see it smoothly. You see things and you're not happy. So then you don't belong in heaven. So then he went to hell, and then in hell they said, well, you received the treasures, the 3 treasures, so you don't belong down here either. I don't have your name in our book of life, so you don't belong in hell. So what happens when you don't belong in heaven or hell? We become a wandering spirit. So we're just roaming, aimlessly, don't know where we belong. So unfortunately, that's what happened to him. He became a wandering spirit. And then Holy Teacher used to come visit him while he was a wandering spirit and said, do you regret what you've done or what your thinking was? He said, no, I really don't think I did anything wrong. So then Holy Teacher was like, what can I do? You don't repent and you don't feel bad for what happened. There's nothing I can do. So every day, Holy Teacher used to come visit him every day. But eventually, when he wouldn't regret what he was thinking or what he said, then Holy Teacher stopped visiting him. And then when Holy Teacher stopped visiting him, all these other wandering spirits came to pick on him and started bullying him. And he was like, oh man, this is even worse. And then finally he was like, how come Holy Teacher doesn't come to see me anymore? And he realized that it's like because he didn't feel bad or regret anything he did. And then so Holy Teacher kind of almost gave up on him. And then that's when he realized what his mistake was that he didn't repent and didn't feel bad for the things he did. So it's important that we always, we be humble and always realize there's more to learn. There's always ways that we can improve ourselves. And it's important that we keep coming to temple and we learn as much as we can while we have the opportunity to do so, and not encourage other people to stop coming too. So it's our job. We got to cultivate ourselves and then help others awaken too and cultivate too.
So this story, what happened to the person? What did he do wrong? What did he do wrong? He forced some people to receive Dao, but his parents and brother, sister did not want to receive Dao. He said, forget about them, and they are not even qualified to receive Dao. So he gave up on this area. So he didn't really do the spirituality to the parents, also brotherhood, or make sure the sister, brother receive Dao. He didn't have enough patience to do that. She lost all the patience, she gave up. He gave up. So that's not one area we cannot do. So he really didn't do that. Okay? And then he was not happy. And then Holy Teacher said, when you are not happy in the human world, are you going to be happy in the heaven? The person is not happy in the human world. You think we're going to be happy in the heaven? No. Teacher said, you're not going to be happy in the heaven too. So, right? So you're not qualified to be there. So one thing, spirituality is one of the most, I think the lecture Jean going to talk about those areas in the Dharma class. It's one of the most critical areas we need to do, make sure we do it. It's a cultivate. That's a very good story. It happened to real Dao member in Taiwan, in our temple.
And then one more thing to add to his story was that when he was at temple, what he didn't realize was that behind the scenes, that his bad karma and creditors were being blocked. Just like we said in the beginning of the scripture, is that the Holy Teacher blocks it for us. So the more we come to temple, the more it's blocked, and then the more we have the opportunity to cultivate without any real hardships yet. But what happened was he didn't appreciate that his karma was being blocked. He didn't realize how bad his karma was in the past. So it wasn't until he was a wandering spirit and Holy Teacher was no longer by his side that all those spirits started picking on him. Those are his bad karmas, his creditors that are looking for payback. Any questions? So the last line is, Holy Teacher hopes you all spread Holy Teacher's words and remind all of the people. Understand? So now that we understand, and we learned a little bit more today, hopefully, is that we can spread this and spread the principles of Tao, all the good things we learn here, and spread it to the people we care about. Because, being a Buddha is about being selfless and hoping that everybody else can also gain a lot of, happiness, wisdom, and virtues and good merits. Any other things that we want to talk about before I pass over to Ryan? Okay, thank you all. I'd like to thank the Buddhas for the opportunity. If I said anything incorrect, I ask Buddha's forgiveness and transmitters and all of you to please correct me. Thank you.